out here. Oh, so I made this picture. Load the Rabby Fud. Some of us think it's actually weird psyops. Huh? Friends, isn't it really weird, bro? During the massive pDAI PulseChain Vietnamese kid FUD, Rabby just disables us. That's so weird, man. Is that planned or not? It's probably not planned, but a lot of these weird, strange things of the universe, they just line up at the same time. It's nuts. It is nuts. Friendship confirmed out here. Also, friends, Sommi fan token, they got me. They got me, friends. So Sommi fan token, they said after long serious consideration, we've decided to pivot away from Sommi and we're going to rebrand. If you want to participate, here's an address. Sadly, so they said we got an infinite whitelist exploit. Your sack is important to us. So you have me on Matty Allen's thing, which I'll cover shortly, and then we have me out here. They got me. I didn't even know it was. I got April Fooled, you might say. But look at my post. I said, I've never seen an intergalactic generational bottom signal like this in my life. Sommi fan token is literally rebounding to someone else. The heavens are calling for my longs. Thank you for the friendship. I'm more bullish than I've ever been. Mark this day in your calendar. Sommi fan token even ran out of the building. So I'm like, oh, you got me, man. They actually got me because I believed it, bro. I believe, like, you know, everyone's running away. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense of running away too. Man. Oh, man. God help us if this goes back to 0.6 cents, by the way. God help us. Literally, God help us. Okay? Literally, God help us. Because that was the moment Maria started dumping. Now, I want to give you another update, friends, because this is interesting. What I'll do is, let's actually cranky G for everyone. Now, I was watching my friend Matty Allen's show, friends. I was watching his show, and it was kind of funny. They freezed it on my head. On my head, I looked like I was derping. Like, I looked like I was really munted. It was kind of funny. Don't worry, Matty. You don't have to make my face look normal. You can just leave me munted. It's really fun. It's funny to me. I love doing the munted face. Now, in the video, man, friends, you ever seen the Heisenberg meme from Breaking Bad, where he's in the car and he's like, ah! He's trying to yell through the window? I was doing that. I was literally doing that. Walter White screaming at Hank. Ah! As he's screaming at Hank. This meme, I was that meme, man. So this is funny, man. After like they played my video about, I just covered the PulseX sacrifice, the pDAI, the Matty Allen pDAI sacrifice, and pretty much I went through it, and the thing is, there was like this period of 10 minutes, shout out to the baby dolls there, where they were just like slamming on questions. What about this? What about that? You're never going to capitulate. You're never going to change your mind. Blah, 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 like locked in, blah, 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 all these questions. And friends, it was literally, okay, it was literally stuck on this frame, okay? It was stuck on this frame. I knew which video they were referencing. I'm like, bro, the next 120 seconds, so they played the whole video and they stopped right up until I'm going to answer the questions. They stop, they ask all these questions, and I'm like, ah, press play, press play. Kareem starts asking a question. Oh, yeah, bought it. 60 minutes go by. It was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, ah! It was so funny, man. It was so funny. Like, oh my God, I'm yelling, press play, press play. Oh man, it was so funny. So I'm going to eloquently answer you. So, oh man, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Now, the question, they always, friends, this is, if you summarize everything, it comes down to one thing, okay? Basically, it comes down to what would make you change your mind? That's what it comes down to. And so the speculation for 10 minutes was like, he'll never do it. He can't. He's bag biased. He needs exit liquidity. All these other things get thrown at me. Blah, 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 blah. Friends, I hear all of it, bro. Like, Michael Saylor. Hey, Michael Saylor, why don't you go buy Bitcoin Cash? And people say, oh, bag bias. Oh, because he doesn't like the green logo. He's locked in. He'll never go in. Nothing can change his mind. So we just get, it's humans, bro. We don't know the future, so we try to guess the future, okay? So they were 1 second away from hearing the part of my video where I answered the questions. So I have it here succinctly, okay? So you want to know why I'm long and why I'm in, okay? So in the panel, right, they asked, what would make Sommi trust another pDAI? Here it is, okay? So, friends, this is This is all fact. So I know you see like this linear chart, Ivan on Tech friendship chart, but this is it, all right? This is what we're looking at. And now I'll continue, okay? So that is pDAI with the end. It's the OG pDAI. It is pDAI. It's from eDAI, okay? So if you look at the bottom right, 1D0F. So D0F, friends. D for dong, 0, because that's the amount of soy we have, and F for friendship, okay? So that address, there is a person or an army or an entity. I don't care what word you use it, bro. There are peoples, benevolent whale wallet people, actors, who are operating on PulseChain since day one. They are fixing and building out the DeFi PulseChain pools, all pointing to pDAI. That pDAI. The D0F. D for dong, 0 for 0 amounts of soy, and F for friendship. D0F. DOF. Okay? That's the OG pDAI. That's pDAI. Yeah? They've been moving Aave. They've been tinkering with P balancer, P Aave, P compound, P curve. Okay, the PulseChain versions of these DeFi. They've been tinkering and spinkering and doing stuff around, all right? I'm looking at the big picture, okay? If you ask someone to get into the weeds, they go, oh no, that was a bug fix. Oh no, that was a mistake. Oh no, they just moved one wallet there. Okay, so they're looking at the tea leaves. I'm standing back and saying, one more word out of you soy boys and you're going to get it. One more word. Step away from the soy right now, all right? They're looking at the tea leaves. I'm looking at the forest, bro. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I see engineer number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, building tower 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks to me like they're building a city. That's what I'm saying to myself. You don't have to think that. I don't care what you think, okay? It looks like to me like building a city. I want to be long. It's pointing to pDAI, okay? That pDAI. That stupid pDAI. That I won't tweet about 34 times in the month of March. Number 2, this army of people took over PulseChain Maker DAO. I believe it was somewhere in 2023, I think. They halted the inflation of pDAI back in 2023. The same inflation that I was getting told about by people, that this thing is broken and they're minting inflation. Okay, are these benevolent pDAI, friends? So if you even go back to the chart, friends, I left my tweet up. There's a friend. This was okay. I'll be honest. This made me buy more. What I'm about to tell you. Okay. The Fudsters, they started circulating August 2023 tweets of Sommi, and they removed the date, and they started circulating it around to make it look like I'm saying there's an infinite bug. Sell everything and leave. But they left the date out. Okay. Now, friends, I could go back and delete the tweet. I don't want to delete the tweet. Do you want to know why? Because that's Sommi's your Michael Saylor top potential tweet, okay? Michael Saylor, Bitcoin's days are numbered. It seems like a matter of time before it suffers the same fate as online gambling. If he bought it, friends, right now, he'd be up 250x, okay? It was like $400 he made the tweet, all right? When he first heard about it. So I left it there. So something Universe was telling me, I could have deleted it, man. I deleted something before that. I'm like, leave it up there. Leave it up there. I don't know what. Something in Universe told me, leave it up there. It's my trophy. By the way, it can still go to 0. Okay? So, back when there was the Sommi FUD here, okay, this is literally, it was right here, friends. You see that? This was the Sommi pDAI PLS FUD. It literally went up and came all the way back down. I got back in. And I actually told everybody, hey, if you missed out, if you feel like you missed out, I'm getting back in. This is your chance to buy me more size because it's actually down on a discount. Okay, it's actually from that point, it's actually still up 6x against Pulse today. That's actually 6x. That's wild. 6x USD. So remember, Benevolent Whales, okay, there used to be 6 billion pDAI, I think. It got to 24 billion. It literally increased by 300%. Someone accumulated supply, whatever, okay? These benevolent actors or actees, yes, they took over Pulse Maker. I think they took over pAAVE. They got the governance tokens or whatever. And they benevolently helped D0F pDAI, OG pDAI, okay? The OG, the original. They helped that. So I'm seeing, okay, there's that happen. Where are they pointing? Okay, that pDAI. Okay, let's continue. These actors are also preparing many pegs, right? pDAI to pUSDC. We've got pUSDT tether, pTUSD, pGUSD, the Gemini, pFrax. Okay, we have them. And what I'll do is I will now show you. This is pUSDC to pDAI. D0F pDAI. You see that? See that? D0F. You see this? It's pegged to $1. Okay? And they did this September 2024. So, you see, I'm stacking these. Okay. These actions, on-chain speech points to D0F pDAI. Okay? These Pulse Maker, taking over Pulse Maker, participating in Pulse Survey, whatever, the balancing of the pools, everything is pDAI. I'm just stacking it. Stack. So all these actions, there's a peg here, all these other stuff. It already is pegged. They say, no, it's not. It's funny. Bro, it's pegged, okay? They say, no, it's not pegged. It's arbitraging within the pool. They're doing it. Bro, just, come on, man. Come on, bro. It sounds like cope now. You know what I mean? Like, I've just shown you this magical thing literally pegging, and you don't want to use the word, you don't want to use the P word. You want to say, no, it's arbitrage. It's arbitrage. All right, bro. Like, you know what I mean? All right. But I'm using the word peg. Even on top of all those, there's more. Okay. On May 11th, 2023, 2 days before PulseChain launch. So PulseChain launched May 13th, 2023. So 2 days before that, May 11th, 2023, the alleged Vietnamese kid and his big fat dong, that wallet, minted pDAI on chain 2 days before the PulseChain launch. I'd still like to ask everyone, if you're fudding, what's your explanation for that? I still haven't heard one. What's your explanation? I've shown you the transactions. Okay, we literally have the transaction. It's put there. Okay, because there's only one thing you can say. You say, well, this Vietnamese kid disguised himself as a young Vietnamese girl, got Richard to install feetpics.exe on his computer. He infiltrated the PulseChain test things. He whitelisted himself. Then when it launched, he launched pDAI. He minted pDAI because he knew he had such amazing foresight, this Vietnamese kid. He knew it was going to be the #1 hit narrative runner for the next 2 years. That's what he decided to do when Richard installed feetpics.exe. That is literally the only explanation there is. Okay? Unless you honestly want to tell me Richard, who is considered like the WarLord, you're telling me he is that dumb that he did not see someone had whitelisted themselves and started minting the first logo of PulseX coin, and he never saw that. Like, I'd still like to hear. I invite everyone. So what I've actually noticed, fans, there is no explanation. There is an explanation. They chop that and they go look at something else. And that's okay, bro, because people will show me, Sommi, what's your explanation for Richard tweeting that he doesn't like pDAI and stuff out here? And I've told you mine. I'll go, well, look, I see it as psyops. I know it's contradictory. It's my decision, okay? I have to decide that, okay? If you have a problem with that thinking, that's your problem, bro. Okay, that's your problem. Okay, you're basically saying the price isn't high enough for you to buy and you need more confirmation for one guy's Twitter. That's what you're pretty much telling me. And that's okay, bro. You know, some people, friends, like I told you right now, some people sold Bitcoin after Satoshi left. Yeah? And then they got mocked by the believers. Okay, so if you need one guy's word, one guy to be there to hold in, I get it, bro. The game is hard. The game is hard, but it is what it is. The market's going to do whatever it's going to do. People are going to speculate no matter what. So my conclusion is the Vietnamese kid, it's not actually a Vietnamese kid. It's allegedly, he could work for Richard. It's some other team. Okay, and you want to say that, people get upset. All right, bro, keep being upset. You're crying in the casino. Go down to the parking lot. Yeah, I have to interpret this. So I'm seeing a Vietnamese kid who somehow got access 2 days before launch to mint pDAI. And that's pointing once again to D0F pDAI. Once again, another thing pointing there. Everything's like point. Are you just happy to see me? Or is there a remote controller in your pants? Because it's pointing to pDAI. I'm seeing point. And my brain is thinking, all right, I don't know what's happening. I don't know how it's happening. But I know it looks like a party's starting. I want to get in. That's how I'm interpreting it, okay? Other people want the 15-page essays. They want Crypto Banter to go make a 3-hour show about what pDAI is. Oh, Richard Hart, if you want all those essays, you want Miles to write a 19-page essay, you want Adam Cochran to make the 200-page thread about all the answers to everything, okay, bro. That's okay, man. I'm just telling you, you'll be waiting a long time and you'll be paying a higher price if it ends up playing out, okay? So all these actions, all these directions point to one DO of pDAI, okay? And then you have the icing on the cake, friends. What's the icing on the cake? The icing on the cake is when Richard Hart first launched PulseX, he had one logo for altcoins, pDAI. It was the orange die with the outer ring, the rim job of pink and blue. Okay? That was his first logo. Once again, it's address D0F. Okay, so that was it. So I'm stacking all it, bro. I'm going to stack. So, okay, this is blockchain in speech. This thing is not just like a meme JPEG ticker die. It is D0F, 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 bang, 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 all of these, all right? I'm not saying it's 100%. I just don't think it's 0%. There you go. That makes people's heads explode. All right, keep exploding, bro. I don't owe you anything, by the way. Like I said, I tell you every day. I tell you every day, you don't like it, click sell. I can't give you certainty. Maybe it's at 0 right now. I say it every day. Get over it. The icing on the cake on top of that, Richard bragged about pDAI 7 times, and then he made pDAI the first logo on PulseX. Here are his tweets. A coin did 5,000x. A free ERC20 up 5,000x. One of the many coins did 5,000x. All right, he's talking about pDAI. Now, you might look at that and go, hey, Sommi, but then a year, like 9 months later, because it was last year, he bragged about it 6-7 times. But then he said, it's not me. I'm not the founder. This coin sucks, etc. So you might negate all those. But it doesn't negate the on-chain stuff. It doesn't, okay? Blockchain speech. And that's why, Maddie, if you watched the video, it was funny. They also asked questions. I forgot to ask it. They said like, oh yeah, but Sommi then said, because I was friends, man, it's funny, man. People literally, I'll explain everything. They'll take this 6-second confirmation bias explanation, and then they'll just move along. I said, okay, if I saw on a new pDAI, if I saw the OA buy it, the first thing I'm going to think of is PsyOps. And the reason is because all the on-chain stuff points to pDAI, the real pDAI, the only pDAI, not everything else that comes after it, okay? When they point to something else, I'll pay attention to that. They ain't pointing to that, okay? But everyone disregards everything I said. They go, oh, so even if the OA moves, you're not going to follow. Man, the OA already sold 5555 pDAI. Didn't it already sell it? Wasn't it last year? It swapped out of it. It dumped 5555 pDAI, and then it was one of the FUD things. Yeah, and then it went up after. One of the things, Richard hid the pDAI replies. Do you remember? And then it pumped after as well. Okay? And by the way, one wallet, the OA, yeah, it might be selling on one wallet. How do we know who's not buying from another? Okay, so this on-chain stuff out here, I get it, man. It's tough. It's tough. That's why there's maximum uncertainty. If you want a clear logic, where if you want like a clear logic of like, oh, he said to buy, therefore I buy, bro, you're the weakest link in the whole chain. Literally, it's always, once again, it's coming to Richard said this, Richard said that, Richard said this, Richard said that, Richard said I jump, I'll jump. Richard said tomato sauce isn't good anymore, use mayonnaise on your cereal. Okay, bro. Richard, okay, dude, I get it. What I'm just telling you is you're the weakest link, okay? Because if Richard decides to take one holiday, okay, maybe he wants to go, I don't know, tour the world and like eat bananas and burgers from food trucks or something, okay? You're the first person out of the chain because he's taken a holiday. Because if he's not active for 60 days, you're basically broadcasting to everyone, oh, you're out. You're literally one of the weakest links, okay? People in pDAI don't need that. They're looking at the on-chain. They're looking at the blockchain. They're giving a big probability weight to the on-chain actions. and the pointing of the protocols, and they're all pointing to pDAI. And we do see Richard Hart Twitter. We do see Richard Hart OA swapping out. We do, okay? So then you've got to think about, okay, which one do you follow? Well, you have to make your bet, bro. The market's making a bet. It's chaotic. I don't have an answer. I'll tell you what my answer is. My answer is to follow the blockchain. Yeah? I see cheap prices. I see the crowd is wrong. I see everybody saying that the thing's going to zero. And then I see price action not suggesting a zero. I see price action suggesting the other way. So I take my bets. That's it. And once again, they are bets. They are not guarantees into the future. They're bets, okay? So all of the things are playing out are pointing to that. And by the way, that's why I said if the OA bought another pDAI, why did I say I'll take it as PsyOps, okay? I said that because I like to front run FUD. So when it happens, if I have the chance to buy dips, I buy them. That's why I do that. I guess stuff like that. Okay? That's what I do. I like to front run potential FUDs. Yes, being part of the game, right? It's kind of like a boxer. Like, oh, what are you going to do if he's winded you in the stomach? What are you going to do? You're like, oh, I'm ready to whatever, X, Y, Z. I know this guy's weak on the left side. I step, you know what I mean? Like you have a plan for that. You think about that. So that if it happens, you're not a deer in the headlights because you know it ain't going to be smooth. So unless all the on-chain engineer builders are starting to point their PulseChain DeFi protocols to another pDAI contract, then that's the one I focus on. Just my choice though, it can go to zero. Okay, so there you go, friends. There is no 100% certainty and I don't want it that way. And probably Richard doesn't want it that way. He's not involved. Whoever it is doesn't want it that way. Here's the thing, friends. For a decentralized stablecoin to hold, you need people who are there because they believe in crypto. Not because they believe in a man or a duck named Richard Hart. Because Richard Hart, he's aging. He might take a 2-month holiday. He might, God forbid, get sick and he can't use Twitter for a month. He might have a family, right? He might do a side quest and start a squeaky chair making factory to combat all the hotel cuck chairs out there, right? An honorable decision, I might add, a business out there. You see what I mean? So do you want your digital nation to last just as long as you're there or beyond you? Now, most people have never thought about that. And I get it, bro, because you're not in that situation. We're just pretty much, we come in, we're just like we're literally little farts in the wind trying to make our way to somebody's nostril. That's all we're doing, okay? That's exactly what we are. But if you really think about it, friends, like what did Satoshi do? Did Satoshi say, hey, follow my every word? No, the guy just left. He literally just rugged. Get it? So I started to think like that, and then it made sense to me. I go, oh, why does this guy just come and whisper in my ear saying, get long, screw everybody else? Why does he do that? Why does he have to do this? Well, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. If you're making a decentralized stablecoin, you need people to hold the line. People have to hold the line even when the founder and the leader and the alleged person behind it is not there. Okay? If he leaves and everyone else leaves, you've made nothing. Okay? You've just made a cult that never transforms into a religion. Okay? Remember, memes, cults, religion. pDAI, it's a cult now. We could be pretty sure of that, okay? If it makes it to $1, it literally becomes a religion. It's got an answer for everyone. Okay, that's if, I don't know. You tell me, like, subscribe, bell button, I'll catch you soon.